Hey, Fancy Flock, Miss Holloman here. I'm so happy that I got to see some of you today at school. It made my heart happy. I get to give out report cards and everything. I did want to let you know that tomorrow's Zoom meeting is canceled. We're going to actually reschedule that for next week. We had something come up at home, so I won't be able to do it. So we'll do it next Tuesday, and I'll send that all out to your parents on Dojo. Tonight, I'm going to be reading the book, How Full Is Your Bucket? And I'm really sad I didn't get to read this in class this year. I usually do an activity with my kids, and we'll draw buckets, and we'll put them on each person's desk, and we write something in those buckets describing those kids of what we like about them, what's so nice about them, what makes them who they are. And I'm really sad we didn't get to do that this year, but we will get to read the story, and it's How Full Is Your Bucket? Here we go. Felix was putting one of the last blocks on his tower when his little sister came in. "I want to build with you," she said. Felix scowled. "Go away. You're too little." "I'm big." "Stay back. You'll knock it over." "I can be very careful." "Go play with your baby toys, Anna." Felix, she's not very happy. Thwack. Guess what she does? She knocks down his blocks. "Grandpa!" Grandpa shook his head. "Felix, you just dipped from your sister's bucket. Like everyone else, Anna has an invisible bucket. When it's empty, she feels bad. But when it's full, she feels great. Didn't you notice your own bucket?" Invisible bucket? Sometimes Felix couldn't quite tell when his grandfather was joking. But the next morning when Felix woke up, there it was, a small gray bucket floating above his head. You see the bucket? When Felix came down to have breakfast, his mom was in a hurry. "I've got a meeting this morning and it's almost time to go. Anna, sit still." And then look what Felix is doing in the corner. Felix slipped and Choco Wheats scattered across the floor. "Felix!" yelled his mom. "You should have used the stool to reach that." Felix could feel his bucket tip and a big invisible drips spill out. Drip, drip, ha ha. Anna laughed as she crunched the cereal with her shoe. Drip. "Get the broom and clean it up before you miss the bus," scolded Mom. With the school bus honking, Felix quickly swept up the Choco Wheats and grabbed the last blueberry muffin. But before he could even take one bite, Buster jumped up and grabbed the muffin from his hand. Drip. "Hey, look at Felix's new backpack. My baby brother has one just like it." Drip. "Psst, Felix." Psst. Drip. "Watch out, shrimp." Drip. Uh-oh. Water's falling out of his bucket. It was still morning, and Felix's bucket felt almost empty. As he watched his classmates walk into the room, he secretly hoped they would trip and fall. That's what it feels like when you have an empty bucket. See his bucket above his head? It's getting empty. Felix slumped into his seat and waited for something else bad to happen. Mrs. Bumblenickel walked slowly up to her desk and handed him a paper. He could hardly bear to look. "Felix, you wrote a wonderful story. Would you please share it with the class?" Felix grinned and felt a big drop land right in his bucket. Drop. Drop, plop, plink, drop. The Gigantosaurus Who Wanted a Pet by me, Felix. The class grew quiet. They laughed at all the right places and oohed at the scary part. When Felix finally read the end, everyone clapped, even Emily, who sat next to him and didn't usually like dinosaurs. Felix felt a whole shower of drops land in his bucket. Maybe the day wouldn't be so bad after all. So his bucket is now being filled with the drops. Drop. Team captains today are Veronica and Felix. Drop. Nice catch. Wow, it's a dog. Well, nice colors there, Felix. Drop. Cool laser ant backpack, Felix. Look, his bucket is getting full. Look above his head. By afternoon, Felix's bucket was nearly full. At recess, when he looked around, Felix suddenly realized that his grandpa was right. Everyone else had a bucket too. Drop, drop, let me help you. Drop, here's your baseball, catch. Thanks, dude. Drop, drop. Hi, I'm Felix. First day? Yes, I'm Amir. Drop. The strange thing was that for every drop he helped put in someone else's bucket, he felt another drop in his own bucket. When Felix burst in the door after school, he shouted, "You are right, Grandpa. I do have a bucket, and I understand how it works." Then he saw Anna's torn doll. "Bad dog," he almost scolded. But then he thought, dogs might have invisible buckets too. "Your doll will be okay, Anna," said Felix. "Mom will fix her." Wah! Until then, do you want to help me build the tallest tower or the tallest building in the world with my blocks? And so they did. And look, Anna's bucket's being filled now. So we each have this invisible bucket. And every time we do something good, or we do something nice, or we say something nice, it's filled. It's filled up. And every time something bad happens to us, someone says something not so nice or something like that, all the water comes out of it. But we can refill it again by doing nice things and when people are nice to us. So with my bucket activity I was talking about, we do every year, we write nice things about the person in each person's bucket on the desk, and it really makes them feel really good, So let's try to do that every day. Let's try to be nice and fill each other's buckets full. All right, guys, I hope you have a happy rest of your Thursday. I will see you tomorrow on here. Bye.